Hello students, welcome to the trigonometry module. In this video, we'll discuss how to define the trigonometric functions using the wrapping function. We will consider the wrapping function, omega theta, which is always a point xy, and this point xy lies on the unit circle. So we will plot our unit circle, x and y. And we'll draw our theta axis. We will take the interval 0 theta and wrap it around the unit circle to a point x, y. So this point x, y over here is exactly just the wrapping function at theta. And then we know we will be able to define I will define the cosine of theta to be the x-coordinate of the wrapping function. The sine of theta will be defined as the y-coordinate of the wrapping function. And the tangent of theta will be the ratio of y and x. The cotangent of theta will be the ratio of x and y. The secant of theta will be the reciprocal of x. And the cosecant of theta will be the reciprocal of y whenever they're defined. It's important to notice that for these trigonometric functions, sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant, they are defined only in the certain cases. In the case of the secant, x cannot be equal to 0. In the case of the tangent, x cannot be equal to 0. In the case of cotangent, y cannot be equal to 0. In the case of cosecant, y cannot be equal to 0. We know, for example, so recall that the wrapping function of, let's do the wrapping function of 3 pi over 4. The wrapping function of 3 pi over 4 goes all the way over here. So the wrapping function of 3 pi over 4, for example, will give me a negative x, negative root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. So that will tell me in particular that the cosine of 3 pi over 4 is going to be the x component of the wrapping function. This is my x, this is my y. So the cosine of 3 pi over 4 will be negative root 2 over 2, whereas the sine of 3 pi over 4 will be the square root of 2 over 2, since the sine is the y and the cosine is the x. We also know, for example, that if I go over here, that the wrapping function of 11 pi over 6 is root 3 over 2 negative 1/2 from our wrapping function video. This is our x and this is our y. So in particular what this tells me is it tells me the cosine of 11 pi over 6 is the square root of 3 over 2. And the sine of 11 pi over 6 is negative 1/2. So if you want to find any of the trigonometric functions, sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, cosecant, or secant, the first thing you do is you plot the wrapping function. The x value will correspond to the cosine, the y value will correspond to the sine, and then ratios of x and y will correspond to tangent or cotangent. The reciprocal of cosine is secant, and the reciprocal of sine is cosecant. Plotting the wrapping function together with these definitions allows us to compute the values of the trigonometric functions at any number we wish. Thank you very much.